What's up, guys? Ian with Hunter's Insight. We're talking about this wolf thing in Colorado. I know a lot of people have been complaining about it. I've seen it on all the forums and all the Facebook pages, and it's getting a little ridiculous. We need to go back to actual hunting, first off. But, I just want to talk about a little bit of how I feel about it and just, what I've seen it do in so many other places that I've hunted. And, it's over the course of a long time that inevitably becomes an issue. Like, we're not going to really see a whole lot of impact this year, and maybe not next year either, because right now there's only 10 wolves here. They reintroduced those 10 wolves out in the Kremling, Granby, and Summit County, which unfortunately is very close to a lot of my home hunting areas, which, it sucks, but I've been reading a lot of statistics and doing my own homework on this whole situation, and it's like, I've seen ranchers and what they're saying about it all, and they're worried about their cattle and their livestock, and I completely understand that. And then you have people like me that are going to be worried about the wildlife and what this impact is really going to do to this ecosystem in Colorado, because they've spent years and years, and we have the #1 elk herd in the world. And they took and reintroduced wolves, and I know it was our governor. And everybody knows it's the governor. If you go and talk to any one of these CPW guys, they will tell you they don't really support it. But they're not against it either. And I can understand both sides of it, because wolves are beautiful. They are awesome animals. I've always enjoyed seeing wolves in the wild, but once you stop and think about what they really do, and, there's a lot of mixed emotions, mixed feelings, and mixed just controversy on this whole thing. It's like, we all know what wolves do. We all know that they can, kill for sport just because they want to. They don't all necessarily do that. Not every pack does it either. There's certain statistics in many of different states and all across, the world where there are wolves that, there is a large impact in some places, and some places they aren't. And, I was reading something just last night, actually, that was saying basically the largest impact is going to be where the county that the wolves are in at that point. Obviously, wolves have a large home range, and they're going to bounce around from county to county. But where they're at that point in time is where their biggest impact is going to be. That's where you're going to see the most, livestock kills. That's where you're going to see the most wildlife kills. That's where you're going to see a lot of interaction with humans and so on. And I know anybody that is part of the I Hunt Colorado page, they've seen those videos, they've seen the locations, they know exactly where they're at. And there's been, 10 wolves in the state so far, and how many different human interactions have there been so far, because that's where they are. They're so close to private land and so on and so forth. And one thing I personally don't agree with what CPW did is they kept all of the private landowners, ranchers, and so on in the areas that they released the wolves, kept them all in the dark. They didn't tell them anything until the day of, and it was after the wolves were released. They knew nothing. They had no time to prepare, and I don't agree with that. I don't think that's right for the state to do that, especially to these ranchers and stuff. The cattle industry is one of the largest money makers in the whole state, and you just take and do that to them. That's part of what I don't agree with. Like I said, the aspect of wolves and another apex predator to compete with, and inevitably that is why so many of us are upset about it, is because now we're competing with another animal that is very similar to us, and that's what we're all upset about, is that we have more competition now when it's already so hard to hunt here as it is. But here at Hunter's Insight, what our job is and what we're doing for you is to make sure that even with these wolves in our state now, that we are going to make sure that your hunt is successful. We are going to do everything in our power to make sure that you guys are successful without having to use an outfitter, without having to figure it out on your own, because it is crazy. It's a lot of information to take in, and trying to come hunt here without any of that information, you're going to be lost. You really are. And that's why we're here to help. This is Hunter's Insight. Keep following along on our Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We're going to keep posting informative information for you guys, all kinds of content showing you what we're doing and how we're doing it to help make you guys successful in the long run. So keep following along. We'll see you next time.